How's it going, guys? We're on to day 4 of the Gucci Hobo League. And at the end of yesterday's video, we got ourselves a Shadow Stitch Sacrificial Garb, rolled with +2 socketed projectile gems and 42% increased damage. So the plan is to switch into Winter Orb from the current Soul Rend setup. And I think the colors are okay for me to run Winter Orb with added cold damage, GMP, cold pin, inspiration, and increased critical strike chance for freezing enemies, because I want to shatter enemies and use Herald of Ice. Though I'm not expecting a crit really at the moment. I could throw on Energy Leech. There's also the possibility of an Ice Bite that will generate frenzy charges if we shatter enemies. This has a chance to freeze on it as well. So maybe that's a possibility. It'd be great if I could get a Tear and Shiver staff. So basically the cold +2 staff. Good extra damage against frozen enemies, I believe, on there. Also, there's a possibility for hypothermia. Then ideally, I would like to get my hands on a pair of Malagaro's Virtuosity. These gloves have your critical strike multiplier is 300%. So I don't have to spec into any crit multi. And I can just scale up the crit chance and then get the multi from here. Then I'll be freezing stuff that way. So I can get that by farming Fungal Hollow, Strand, and Spider Forest, as well as Coral Ruins or Mesa, but I don't have those at the moment. So I'll probably smash these maps today. Still going to be farming Incursions, trying to get String of Servitudes that might be able to replace this, because I'm losing 5 all-res for each equipped item. Currently, I'm just barely over on cold res, so I'm going to have to do something about that. I do have a mastery here that can get me 12 all-res with some extra chaos that I don't have. And since I'm going back into cold or elemental damage, I can come back and get Snowforged and then take the 15 all-res here, but we're going to have to rework some stuff in order to make this work. I do think the skill effect duration is probably still going to be really good. The big thing holding me back is I don't have a good weapon used with this, so I'm going to start leveling these gems and see what we can make happen. I do have a beast that can give me a staff, so we'll start with that. Oh, we got Fin Coil. Nara's Touch. Brought out the gold flask just for this. Oh. Another jewel. Sacrifice a unique item for another random unique of the same item class. King of Unraveling. And 2 Magnarod's Staff. One of the lightning ones. Ring of Servitude with Wrath effect. Okay, well, we got one. Busting out the replica blueprints, see if we can find anything juicy in here. Projectiles chain an additional time. Can okay, no. We take the replica Bitter Dream, and then I level Fire Pin and Lightning Pin so I can make an Elemental Penetration Gem and convert a bunch of my cold damage into fire and use Elemental Pin instead of Cold Pin. Replica 3-step Assault. At least elusive effect doesn't give you elusive. None of the rest are uniques, so I guess that's what we get. Next, we got Blood Play, Replica Frost Breath, or Replica Cold Iron Point. I feel like the Replica Cold Iron Point is the best option here. If you converted all of your cold damage into fire and did this like crazy ignite build, Replica Cold Iron Point, yeah. Cool. And no uniques in this one. Rip. Replica Bloodthorn Stampede. Travel skills deal 80% more damage. The Last Resort or Conk Efficiency. Non-channeling skills minus mana cost is so nuts. Yeah, I have to take this. That's such a good jewel to have. Hey, Wise Oak. Now that could be huge. And these unique chests got nerfed pretty largely. These unique chests used to drop like 4 or 5 uniques, and the like weapon and jewelry armor chests, they used to drop unique weapons, jewelry, and armor. None of that. It's not seeming anymore. Big nerfs to the uniques. And nice. Last Wing, Replica, Allopathy, level 22 Wintertide brand with increased chill effect. That could work. That was not the plan. Well, it's only unique, so I'm taking this. The idea was to use Frostblink and Cold Snap to apply Bone Chill. Wintertide brand could definitely do it, though. I do have one more replica blueprint, but I do not have the markers to run it, and my build is too slow for me to want to grind these low-level contracts with not much in them, so we'll leave that there for now. I got enough regret orbs from running heist. I think I can make this switch into the Winter Orb now. I think I have this working well enough to show off at this point. So there's a T1 map. Nothing crazy here. I'm running with a Heartbreaker and the Oppressor. This is giving me spell suppression, and that's about it. It's just freed up some passive points for me. So in here, I've got Winter Orb with GMP, added cold damage, cold pin, increased critical strikes, and inspiration. Over here, I've got Frostblink, Bone Chill, Unbound Ailments. Down here, I have Arcanist brand with Sniper's Mark, Elemental Weakness, and Frostbite. That allowed me to replace the ring to get an additional curse, and this has all res on it, which is good. Down here, I have Herald of Ice that I have linked with Icebite. I just put that in to see if it would work, and this will generate me frenzy charges if I were to get rid of this amulet, which is something I've been thinking about doing. I don't have an anoint yet because for some reason Cassia doesn't want to show up in my maps, so don't have that. Everything else is still the same. Oh, I'm not getting Arcane Surge anywhere, so I probably need to move my Frostblink somewhere into a 4-link so that I can get Arcane Surge on it. Passive tree. I pulled out these points here for the all-res because I got all-res right here. And then I took out all of the chaos damage, the dot stuff here. And I used those points to push up and get more skill effect duration, grab Ash, Frost, and Storm. And here I'm getting 40% increased effect of non-damaging ailments to increase the chill effect on the Frostblink Bone Chill setup. And that's about it, other than me switching to the increased max total ES recovery from Leech on this, and I grabbed a few crit notes. So, something else I've been thinking about is that I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points away from Mind Over Matter, and 1, 2, 3 points away from Eldritch Battery. So, if I could pull that off, then I could run Divine Blessing with Hatred for even more damage. Now, I've had trouble with some rares, but most of the map just kind of falls over. Anything really tanky, I drop the Arcanist brand and it'll slowly get the curses and be doing well. Need to get the endurance charges so I can get my rampage going. I don't feel like I can die down here in the T1 map, but you can see that like that rare enemy took a while to kill. Like when it blows up a pack, it's really nice, and being able to like automatically like curse stuff without dropping the Arcanist brand, and you gotta wait for the activations of it, which with the frenzy charges every 0.66 seconds, so it's going to take 2 seconds before it gets all 3 of the curses off, the 2 curses in the mark. So it's taking a little longer than I would like, because if I was just automatically applying this stuff, then we'd be good to go. But that's what's slowing me down, is just like I have to like drop the curses on stuff. I could also be using like Cold Snap to be generating frenzy charges and apply Bone Chill. Since I have so much increased duration, that I'm stacking, it would last quite a while. I don't have the greatest crit chance or crit multi either. Like, it still could be better that I use the energy leech. Yeah, 48% crit chance with no diamond flask. Well, that's what the power charges up, of course. And then only 185 on the multi. That's why I'm farming strands at the moment. See if I can get any of these cards to try and get these gloves to give me 300 crit multi. Magma barrier died. I've never played Winter Orb either, so I don't know if like I'm not getting everything. Like, it seems like it might be possible that AoE scaling kind of helps overlap on these. Oh, and there's a singularity. Look at that. I also don't have the ideal weapon. Of course, I would love to have a staff. But at the same time, like, I could throw this on now. And switch this to, like, a ball lightning or something. And, like, there's a lot of possibilities with this chest. But I'm going to keep tinkering with it and see how it goes. It's doing okay for now. At least in T1 maps, of course. Here's a difficulty 11 Mausoleum Boss, monster level 75, which is T8 map. And it's going to give me uniques. That's a Cosprey's. We get another pair of gloves that I'm wearing. Primordial chain. The big things there. So that means now, if I color these gloves and get them like these, I can corrupt a pair of gloves. Let's do that. Okay, all good to go here. Now, these gloves aren't rolled super well, but that's okay. I don't want to keep these gloves for the long haul anyways, so. Alright, that one has a white socket on it now. But we still have those gloves, so now we can try again with these ones. And those ones are gone. Okay. I actually gained life in this process because of the Shadow Stitch. So I'm getting increased life in ES per corrupted item equipped. And my resist's still fine. Alright, we're about to put this build to the test. Cortex showed up in here. There's no way I can skip on it if I get something good out of here. Gotta go for it. Even if it kills me 6 times, like, there's no passing this up. So we go. Now, so let's update. I replaced my helmet. And since this helmet has fire and cold res, and I was up on lightning res, it did not hurt me too bad to remove the gold rim. So this is huge. So this is giving me 1% of cold damage as extra fire per 1% chill effect on enemies. Against rare enemies, I'm getting like 27 to 29% chill effect. So that's a lot of extra damage. And then if I can freeze the enemy, I get cold damage as extra fire. So then as I was testing, it seemed like my biggest issue was cast speed. So on my passive tree, I rerouted through the beginning here to get 12% cast speed. I found 2 points to put up here into Harrier. This is more cast and movement speed. Well, yeah, one of the points I pulled out of this fire res because I don't need that because I have a fire res covered on boots and helmet now. So we're good there. And then up here, I got this mastery to give me chance to ignite, freeze, and shock and poison cursed enemies. So now that's an extra 20% chance to freeze. And then I went further with it. We re-rolled all of my flasks except the hollowed. Given the amount of life that I have only have 3,300 life. I'm fine with running the hollowed life flask still. Mainly because it consumes 10 charges over 15. Like the others do. So we no longer need the mana flask, which I'll explain that in a second. I threw it in a quartz flask, which might be able to save me a passive point down here. I haven't worked that out yet. But we have cast speed here. We got a silver flask for onslaught. That's more cast speed. Then here on the Granite Flask, 27% chance to freeze. So that's 47% chance to freeze against cursed enemies while this flask is up without any other chance to freeze. Like Frostbite has 25% chance. Once I get my staff, it has 8% and 10 to 20 cast speed. And then I reduce charges on this rather than the max charges and less reduced effective curses, but there we go. So my Winter Orb costs 2 mana. That's because, like, partially because inspiration. If I take inspiration out, it goes up to 4, and I could still, like, probably just cast it indefinitely. There's probably a better gem, honestly, than inspiration, but we have that for now. The reason is the Praxis. Praxis -8 to total mana cost of skills. Now, most channeling skill builds have the reduced mana cost of channeling skills, which, like, I think the max you can roll is -3. But since this gives -8 to all skills, it's like substantially lowering the cost of the Winter Orb. That's fantastic. No worries there. Now, I originally had this mastery into reduced mana cost of skills, but then my Winter Orb costs 0 mana and I couldn't gain inspiration charges anymore. So I changed it to regenerate 5 mana while you have Arcane Surge, which is really only so that I can get the extra damage for Polymath. I probably don't need any of this mana stuff at all. Honestly, I could probably throw it back up into Soul Thief, but that's where we are. I just cleared a T12 map. No issues. Okay, how bad is it? 63% life. Onslaught. Okay. Okay. It's not too bad. I've seen way, way worse. Gotta try. Alright, so I now am also using... Wait, look, yeah, stuff is dying here. Because, like, if I can freeze things, if the enemy can be frozen, it will die. Because I get double damage. Almost. Like, assuming that all of my curses line up. But I got Bone Chill on the Cold Snap. I have a Frost Bomb linked to Arcane Surge with my Frostblink. They're linked together. I have a Whirling Blades just in case something crazy happens. I get stuck on the cooldown on my Frostblink. And what else? Yeah, the Arcanist brand applying 3 curses. I think I mentioned that part earlier. Yeah, but this magic pack of enemies, their health is too high for me to freeze. So I think once I get the staff, it'll kind of solve that. I mean, and this is with like 63% monster life. And once I've worked out all the like kinks in the build, which a lot of it comes down to cast speed, it definitely got a lot smoother. I am gonna rush Cortex too because I don't want to lose portals. Like, if I'm gonna lose XP, I'd rather be able to gain it back by clearing this zone after the boss fight. I've got 4 things to manage that is not Winter Orb. I have to keep the Cold Snap on the ground for the Bone Chill. I have to make sure the enemies stay cursed with the Arcanist brand. I gotta pop the Frost Bomb every now and then. And I have to Frostblink every now and then to get my Arcane Surge. Even though I still have Arcane Surge linked to Steel Skin. Steel Skin costs 11 mana. The lowest cost for Arcane Surge is 15 mana. And then same goes with Frost Bomb. It's costing 15. Frostblink is costing 19. So, I'm getting a little bit there. If I can get my staff, like 5 or 6 link it, and then get the Arcane Surge like in this whole mix, and even get the Frostblink in the Arcane Surge, and then I can like more comfortably maneuver around. In the same way that it did when I was playing Flame Blast last league. When you're playing with a channeling skill, I can hold down my channeling skill and then move with Frostblink and keep channeling. It's pretty nifty. Alright, I need this guy to die. I don't know where the tree ant horde's coming from either. Oh, that's coming from the guy right behind you, Vampiric. I would love to get a pair of Sintrex. Put that node back in the fire res. And I do have the Vol Cold Snap just in case I need friendly charges against the boss. Now I'm running Energy Leech instead of the crit chance. If I got gloves, maybe I'd switch it back to the crit chance. But for now, I'm not really like worrying about the crit. I'd have a Diamond Flask and the whole works for that. But 185 crit multi is just not going to do it. But yeah, some things don't like to die. And it's usually rares or magic monsters with certain Archnim mods. But that's kind of what I would expect on an unoptimized build. So we still have a lot that we can improve on this. So I'm not surprised to be struggling with this. But at the same time, I'm doing it. So, alright, this is likely about to be very painful. That Frost Bomb. Oh, I missed on that Frost Bomb. If I don't my Frenzy Charges, I'm going to use the Vol Cold Snap. Oh, that DJ though. See, yeah, I'm worried I'm going to get this room filled with DJ and brick this. Ah! Oh yeah, the faster your cast speed is, the faster Winter Orb fires per stage. So at max stages, like I'm firing a lot more than I was before. No. Put it over here, please. Come on, get me in range, please. Oh, that was a bad spot for it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. No. Oh. Well, yeah. I kind of stood there and took that, didn't I? Okay. I don't know that this is happening. Like, I just don't have the damage for this. Without the 63% life, like, maybe. Without the 63% life, I'd still be fighting this boss. But he'd be close to dead. I think they go away after each phase. Uh-oh, that's a bad one. Oh, this is... Oh, come on. Man, I wish I could get in range comfortably on that. Oh! Oh, no. 8, 7, 6, Ow! Nope, dead. Yeah. It's not worth it. I think I should just clear the rest of it and call it. It's not gonna happen. Like, there's just no way I'm making it through 3 more of those on 2 portals, so that's fine. We'll get some of the XP back, though. I had 10% when I came in here. I'm feeling more confident with it, though. And I did get the gym to level 20. I've been leveling Winter Orb since the very beginning, just in case this happened to, like, become a possibility. I've never played Winter Orb either. Like, today is literally the first day I've ever played Winter Orb. I never played it when it was super popular. I don't know what they did to change it, but like every other channeling skill, like, it forces you to stand still in a game that forces you to move. So it's kind of odd. I feel like I personally like the Soul Rend playstyle better, but the damage potential on this is way higher. Like, without a doubt. Like, I do have a 6 link with the +2, and I think given my, like, gearing setup and what I've been able to get on the tree, I'd probably put it about equal to the Soul Rend at the moment, but then once I get the staff, it's just going to be on another level. And then I'll have another at least 5 links set up to smooth some of the nonsense out. Like, this Cortex has been reassuring to me, because T16 monsters, 63% monster life, and kind of handling it. Not the best by any means, but I haven't seen any crazy rare monsters either, though. Like, the biggest struggles I've been having are just, like, some ridiculous rare yeah, there was one earlier. The Vampirism Gargantuan. But I don't have Syntrex yet, so they can still leech life. Like, I'm able to combat Consecrated Ground and Rejuvenation because of the Frost Bomb, but it's still like, it's 5 buttons to get all my damage up, and to get your maximum amount of damage, you want to be channeling Winter Orb at all times, and it's not really feasible. Hey, I got a T15 map. If I could get any, like, curse on hit on gloves that was useful. Elemental Weakness, I think, is the only one I could really get there. Then I could let the Arcanist brand cast my Frost Bomb. That would take off a button. And then the staff allowing me to combine the Frost Blink and the Cold Snap to let me use them interchangeably. I think that's really what it is missing. Plus the Helm Enchant. That +2 max stages on Winter Orb Helm Enchant is actually, like, GG for this, because as the stacks ramp, like, you're spitting out so many more projectiles. Oh, Prismatic Frostweaver, come on. Now this is about the worst. I will also mention that you don't want to stand on top of enemies with this. You see how I'm, like, spewing projectiles behind it? You want to stay a decent distance away to try and get as many of these to overlap as possible. Against enemies that just kind of, like, rush you, you have to kite them. Or kind of, like, go back and forth with a Frost Blink. Because when they're on top of you, you can Frost Blink behind them while you're still channeling and continue just, like, Frost Blinking back and forth. And try and keep distance that way. And because you can hit with Frost Blink when you're, like, where you start and where you finish, you can recharge your cooldown on it that way. Well, there we go. It's turning out okay. It's still far from complete, but not bad, I'd say. Uniques I got an Incandescent Heart and Brine Rot Whalers. Now, I used these boots for the EK last time I did Gucci Hobo. This gives a lot of projectile damage, gives unaffected by shock ground and lightning res and stuff, but I still think I want to go with Syntrex here. there's just too much upside given that I'm stacking evasion and yes. And then if I were to switch out of Winter Orb, I could get a Vertex instead of this Heat Shiver, but this Heat Shiver is definitely the best in slot helmet, I think, for this type of thing. But yeah, that's all I've got for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, definitely hit the like button as it really helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe to make sure you don't miss more videos from me. If you'd like to help support my channel, please consider using the super thanks, the heart icon just below the video, or by joining to become a member. And I'll see y'all in the next one. Cheers.